Hello and welcome back for week 3 of our sourdough checkup. So let's go ahead and see how our sourdough is doing. We have got a lot of bubblage going on. So I want to get you up in there, see if you can see that. Very kind of the aroma you're getting is definitely, there is a definite alcohol smell, like a little tinge of maybe like an acetone, but we're starting to get like a weird fruitiness to it. It's a little smell and a little sweet these days, and that is signs of the sourdough tang setting in, which is exactly what we want. So this is the sourdough as we come into the beginning of week 3. And what that means is we are going to need to do a discard. I did not do a discard week 2, but we're just getting into week 3 now, and we need to get that discard done. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get all the hooch and these good yeast that are riding up on top of the hooch stirred back into the kind of like the flour sludge. And once we get that kind of combined, we are going to discard down to just a 1/4 cup left. So we want to get everything kind of stirred back together so we don't get rid of certain parts of the starter and not others. We just kind of want everything to be uniform. All right, we'll go ahead. I'll just rest the chopstick in there. And we're gonna go ahead and just pour our discard out into this paper bowl, so I can just throw the paper bowl, the whole bowl, away in the trash, just for convenience for this video. Remember, I said do not do your discard down the sink or in the toilet into plumbing, because it is possible for sourdough starter to kind of set up and harden in your pipes. And it'll be really weird to explain to your plumber why you have rock hard flour plugging your drain. Okay, so we're shooting for the 1 cup mark, because this is 4 cups because it's a quart jar. So we want to be at a 1/4 jar. Still got a little bit to go here. Okay, that's about right on the money right there. So I'm going to wipe our little drip that ran down the front of our jar, to be expected. Just clean that off. All right, now we're left with about a 1/4 of a jar worth of good starter. It feels like a little bit of a waste, but remember, we're still developing flavor. This stuff doesn't have enough flavor to make any legit recipes yet, but that's where we're going with it. So let's go ahead, and for this time, if we look at our consistency, let's just look in there. See, when I spin it around, it just sloshes like water. That is way, way, way too loose. And this week, week 3, is all about getting your consistency right. So today, for this feeding, we're not going to give it water. We're just going to add 2 tablespoons of flour only. So we're not adding any more water because we want to thicken this up to the consistency of a cake mix. I think we've all made like a boxed cake mix, so we all should be kind of familiar with what that looks like. If you haven't made a boxed cake mix, go spend 98 cents and get you a Betty Crocker cake mix. It'll change your world. So let's go ahead and stir this up and see what kind of a consistency we get here at the end. It's a little thicker, but it's still real runny. So we are going to continue for the next several days to just feed it only flour until it stops sloshing around. We want like a nice batter, like a cake batter, not sloshy and watery. So I will make sure that my sourdough starter here is a perfect texture when we come back for the beginning of week 4, and that'll kind of show you what you're gunning for. But this week we really just want to thicken things up. You'll know it's too thin if you take your jar and have it kind of tipped one way and you tip it the next way and it just immediately falls to the other side. It should kind of slowly slump from one side to the other. It shouldn't run like water. You'll know you did too much, it's too thick, if after you stir it up, it doesn't settle down after a couple seconds to become smooth on top. If it still is kind of wrinkly and clumpy on top, that means it's too dry and too thick and you need to add water again. And once you get that perfect cake batter consistency, I find that if you do 2 tablespoons of flour and 1 tablespoon of water, that'll keep you at pretty close to that ideal consistency moving forward. So that's where we are for week number 3. With that, just keep getting your feedings. Try and get things thickened up by just leaving the water out for the next several feedings. And like we said, once you attain your perfect cake batter consistency, just 2 tablespoons flour, 1 tablespoon water to the end of week 3. I'll see you back for week 4.